The sky is falling, the sky is falling, said Chicken Little. But let's put it into perspective. Yeah, we're seeing an increased amount of foreclosures. However, is it the waterfall of 2008? Not quite yet. Activity climbs annually for the ninth straight month as 2025 trend continues. November marks the ninth straight month. Year-over-year increases in foreclosure activity, underscoring a trend that has steadily taken shape through 2025. Foreclosure starts were up 17% from last year, and completed foreclosures rose 26%. While those numbers show continued upward movement, it's not as bad as you think. Delaware, South Carolina, and Nevada posted nation's worst foreclosure. Florida, Texas, and California led the nation of foreclosure starts. California, well, that's where I live. California is getting hit. What is the current foreclosure rate in the US? Well, we're the top 10 for sure, but that's because there's a lot of ups and downs. And is it really in Silicon Valley? Not really. We have 4, 5, 6 foreclosures in Santa Clara County. We do have some in Oakland and San Francisco and all around the Bay Area, but overall, the numbers are these are foreclosure starts, meaning that you're struggling with your payments. The bank hasn't taken over your house yet. And that really doesn't mean a lot because people flub. Like yesterday, Monday, I realized I didn't make a credit card payment. So I had to rush and pay it off. And then it's a gig on my credit. There were 3,400 foreclosure starts for every one foreclosure for every 3,400 homes in California, as opposed to Florida, where they're seeing a mass migration out of the state. People are saying, I'm not paying stupid amounts of hurricane insurance, and I'm done living in Florida right now. There's a mass panic because they haven't controlled the insurance. California has the same issue with wildfires. If you're in a high fire hazard zone, there's a fire map you can get to. You're going to pay 3 to 4 times more for California Fair Plan. And if you have a mortgage on your house, you have to have insurance, period. That's why there's issues here. People are walking away from houses because they overbought. And in Texas isn't even on the map yet, but I'm seeing places where there's hundreds of houses being put on foreclosure, meaning they're walking away from the houses. Now, another reason is because the current administration is making it difficult for people who don't have citizenship to live here. Whether you like it or not, it's affecting us. Is it affecting us good or bad? In the short term, my thoughts, those people are self-deporting, and they may have had a house. They may have had a couple cars or trucks. They have a lot of furniture. And there's a guy I follow on TikTok. His name is Antz, Anttz. And he talks about this all the time. He goes in and clears out the foreclosed homes after the bank takes them over. And he just one day got 6 or 7 new foreclosures that he had to clean out. He goes in there, takes pictures, tells people what's going on, and then gets haulers to come in and take everything out, clean it up, put it on the market. Is it bad? Short term, yes, it's bad for a lot of people. Those people are losing a lot of money. They're losing the American dream. But also, if they're self-deporting, that means they didn't come here to the United States legally or the right channels. And when I came here in 1976, I applied to live here through my mom. I was 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old. And then when I was in the Marines, I applied for citizenship and I got my citizenship. October 9th, 1989 is when I became a citizen. So I had a green card. I did everything legally. I pay taxes. I hate jury duty. I don't talk out like a Canadian anymore. I don't even know what the accent is. But, here's the thing. A lot of people are self-deporting, but if they own a house, they're walking away from their house and whatever equity they may have had. And on top of that, getting into this is going to hurt local regional areas. In Texas, house values are depreciating at a huge rate, meaning if you bought a house today and not in 90 days, your house is going to be worth less. We're in a downward trend. Right now, there's less competition. I don't know how bad it's going to be. This is historical, right? I can say it could be like a little blip here and everything will turn around. Probably not, just because there's so much ruffling all across the globe from our current administration. It's not good or bad. That's just the way it is, right? You can yell and scream and throw a tantrum about it, but then you can also stand back and say, yeah, that sucks. Let's learn how to time the market. The more houses depreciate, the more competition enters the market. until something turns around. Once this happens, we see an uptick. People are going to say, I don't know. I think the market's going to continue to crash. I'm just going to hold out. This is when you want to buy. Sucky time to buy a house right now if you're buying a house, because you don't know if the market's going to go down or up, kind of like the stock market, right? Here's another thing we got to look at. We haven't seen record inflation, but we've seen pretty damn hard inflation over the last few years. Nothing we could do about it. That was out of our hands. Whether you like him or not, Powell did what he could to give us a soft landing and bring inflation down. This is housing inflation, not GDP, not CPI, it's not the overall indexes. Just realize that housing inflation has gone down. In certain areas, there's been depreciation. In Santa Clara County and most of the Bay Area, we don't see that because there's limited land, limited houses for sale, and sellers are very picky about what they will let their house go for. There's more equity built into those homes. Are there foreclosures? Yes, absolutely. We're always going to have foreclosures, but not at the 2008 level. That was 2008. Values came down. Now people are going to buy. This is 2022. This is an old chart, but I'm just using it for just the idea of what's going on. I will try to find this and update it. Is the sky falling? In certain areas, yeah. But just like our weather system, it rains, it snows, there's drought, there's all sorts of stuff that happens all over the United States. And just like the weather pattern, our housing market is very micro market focused. So be careful of that. Don't freak out on national numbers. This is actually in Hayward. And the reason why I picked this one is because I did sell a condo to a guy on Fletcher Lane. It's not this unit. I checked in with him, made sure he's okay. At one time, this 2-bedroom, 1-bath was worth close to $600,000. And this has been on market 169 days. The HOA fee is $550 a month. I say that's not a great deal, considering it's less than 1,000 square feet. Now, if you're commuting, you just need a place to sack out, this is a great option. $400,000, that's super cheap. You can go to the blog and check out this distressed REO map. And you can take a look at all these, including this one in Sunnyvale, brand new condo for $1.25. And then this one we talked about last week. Homes near Apple. Why are we talking about homes near Apple if we're talking about Armageddon? There's no Armageddon in Santa Clara County. Pretty much everything on the west side of 17 or 87, depending on how you look at it, they're not hurting at all. It's the people on the east side of 87 that are seeing depreciation right now. If you had a choice and your price range was, say, $2 million, if I had a choice of living here or Cupertino or Los Gatos or Campbell, I would choose Campbell, Cupertino, or Los Gatos. It's just better run cities, right? Everything on the west side of 87 is a little more depressed. People have to drive to work, and most of the companies are right here. Most of the high paying companies are right here. So I'd rather pay $2 million here, even though it's a townhouse or condominium, and then buy a house over here and have to trudge through traffic. Mountain View House of the Week, new listing, $2 million, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,258 square feet, built in 1995. That's a lot of added value. 1-car garage, 2 parking spaces. Let's go take a look inside here. That doesn't look like a 2-story from this picture. Very misleading. I don't like the white appliances. I wouldn't pay a premium for that. And there's no floor plan, so shame on you. All right, Wednesday. We have 172 homes that are on market over 40 days. It's gone down considerably, but that's because we're seeing a lot of homes get canceled right now. Last 7 days, we've seen 50 homes get canceled, 9 more expired and 13 more withdrawn. So these numbers are going to be smaller naturally. 90 days on market are down by 92, right? We've only had 37 homes go pending. A lot of these have gone into contract. They're just probably being pulled off market, right? 75 homes in the Bay Area are bank owned or short sale. And then REO in California is 258, which is the same as last week. I double checked that. And then for sale, it's 306 homes. Last week we had 342. The average of this year has been 511, and we've been over 1,000 at one point during the supply is low. But that's also because demand has dwindled a little bit. Prices aren't really going down too much. Buyers are being picky. Santa Clara County, we have 670. We want that to be 2,000 to be a balanced market. Since there's lack of supply, even though demand dwindled, prices are still holding strong, except for those bank-owned properties. Pending, we had 77 go into contract, and we closed 135. And the same thing with back on markets, 52. That means 52 homes came out of over the last 7 days in Santa Clara County. That's a huge percentage. If you want to look at the charts, here you go. That's Santa Clara County single family home. These are the 40, 90 days and bank owns. Nothing's ticking up here, but we're seeing closed sales tick up. The supply is dwindling for sure from 711